Hello, friends and enemies. It's me, V. Yes, let's talk about it. Today we're talking about diabetes in children and anyone under the age of 20. Now, I actually have the article up. I will be reading it, which is why you're going to be seeing me do this because I have been reading it and trying to remember everything, but I fucking can't, okay? Okay. So, by this article that I'm going by is a thing that researchers have done, CDC, and it was a study. Actually, let me back it up. The study was published in the American Diabetes Association Diabetes Care, and essentially what they said is by 2060, they believe that there's going to be 220,000 people under the age of 20 with type 2 diabetes, and essentially that's an increase of nearly 700%. I don't think you understand that. 700%, meaning over 100% of people are going to get diabetes. Now that, of course, made me go, what the fuck? What's going on? Why is this happening? Then I saw some videos. Where people said that trying to get kids to exercise is fat shaming and it's fat phobic and it's terrible, this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 that it'll lead to eating disorders. And I think I said in my other video that there's a way to make exercise fun. I also said in my other video, or at least I believe I did, where I talked about how when I was a kid, we did exercising and we had gym, but as I grew up and went to high school, gym class wasn't as important. I talked about that. And it seemed more like people were just, let's go talk and, sit here and not really exercise and do stuff. I am of that mindset that exercise, as long as you make it fun, it'll get people motivated and ready to do whatever they need to do. I'm sad. I'm saddened because I have seen so many young people on TikTok talk about how they don't need to lose weight. And I even had a friend, let me finish my first train of thought. They say like, I don't need to lose weight because, they say all these things about obesity, but everybody's obese and this, that, and the other. And there were fat people back in the 1900s and earlier and blah, blah, blah. And I had a friend who currently is diabetic and he is sleep apnea. And I mentioned, like, I feel like I have sleep apnea and I need to lose weight. And he's like, no, you don't. And I said, yeah, I do. Sleep apnea. When I gain weight, I have sleep apnea. And he's one of those people that doesn't, he's as far as I know, he's fat acceptance. I can't prove it, but the things that he said recently have made me think he really is. He is a part of fat acceptance. And I had to stop talking to him about me trying to lose weight or me saying I want to lose weight because he kept trying to downplay it. And then hearing him say he had diabetes, I'm like, dude, we're the same fucking age. You have diabetes. You're telling me how you need to take diabetic medication in order to survive. And you're telling me that I should continue on the road that could lead to diabetes. Make that make fucking sense. Make it make fucking sense. And again, when people, and these are all younger people, I'm talking 20s, early 30s. My friend and I'm 36. He's in his late 30s. So when I hear younger people say, well, it's not affecting me, I'm like, that's because of your youth. And I'm seeing all these young people. I'm fearful. I'm fearful of people getting diabetes because I looked at diabetes medication if I'm not insured. And I know I say $1,200. $1,200 for an apartment? That's money that could go to an apartment. A quote-unquote nice apartment in Madison, Wisconsin. How and why are places gouging that much for insulin that the maker of insulin said he wanted it to be free so then that way children wouldn't go without, people wouldn't go without it and they would survive. I think about how in the 90s it was like $5 and then all of a sudden it's now $1,200 fucking dollars. And you're sitting there and you're like, well, we need to put this much. No, you're not. Now you're making a fucking profit off of the lives of people. That's disgusting. You're ensuring, and I never understood it with CEOs, and this is going to become a little bit of a rant when it comes to diabetes medication, because again, my parents, they're taking it. And my friend, he's taking stuff. There's something fucked up when you're price gouging the people that need your product to survive. I don't know about you, but my thought process is I want to create a product where the people that need it survive. I get money, but at the same time they know, hey, I'm going to keep using you. What do I mean by that? If you made insulin medication that was affordable for people, you are making sure that you will always have a living consumer, a living customer that doesn't feel as if they're being fucked over. But if you are saying, no, we want to charge $1,200, no, we want to charge, $900 for each vial, you are then ensuring that you're going to get dead customers. You're ensuring that people have to decide between you and fucking surviving. Are you waiting to get more customers? There's something fucking wrong with that logic, because to me, and this is the bitch who had a candy company in elementary, and to the little moon demon kids told me that they were going to tell me for selling candy in the fucking at school. You mean to tell me that you would rather kill your customers or make it hard for them to take your stuff? You are a fucking monster if you're doing that. That's sick and it's fucked up. If you're doing that and your people are helping you do that, I hope your fucking company folds or gets splintered off into different companies, because you don't need to. You suck as a CEO, as a business person. And your stockholders, I hope they fucking die. If they are willingly, actively clapping their hands and saying, I want this to happen, I want these people to suffer, fuck them too. And I also want to say, besides the insulin company having their thing of doing as much, I also want to say a big fuck you to the companies that are making these foods. I also want to say a big fuck you to the fact that we have government that is okaying these foods, because you have people that are being paid by the big companies saying, oh, we need to have milk. You need to push off this milk. For example, the 90s and the whole got milk thing. Based on what? Based on fucking what do we need milk? Now, milk is great. It's awesome. Hey, I'm lactose intolerant, so I have to take a calcium pill. I'm lactose intolerant, so I drink milk. I shit myself. Okay, I don't shit myself, but I do get diarrhea. TMI, I know. But I think about the different things, or the fact that I bought a Beyond Burger pack. Now, it was, I want to say it was $4.20. $4.20 for each burger. No, $2.20, sorry, it was $2.20 for each burger. If I had both burgers together, it should have been $4.40. But they had it at $4.30. The math wasn't mathing. If calories are 220 and I have two of them, shouldn't the calories be 440? If I have two of them together, why is it now 430? How did I lose those extra 10 calories? Another example, ramen. I buy the ramen. The ramen I looked at, it was like 510 if you eat the whole bag. But the bag, it's telling me if there's 3.5 servings and it's telling me per serving, this is how many calories. Again, just be honest. Just say this is how much it is and to stop, subtracting calories. Make that shit make sense. Also, I feel like we should have, I feel and I want schools as well as jobs to have things where they say, hey, this is how much you need in terms of calories, salt, sugar. This is how many, how much you should get daily intake. And then have people go through things. My parents, my dad, he has lost weight since that video because originally, as I said, that video I had done months before he has lost weight. They still want him to lose more weight. And I said to him, are you doing calories? He's like, no, I don't do calories. I just go based on what it's supposed to be. I go, and I'm like, how do you know, sir? How do you know? But he's lost weight. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to leave him alone and do his thing because he's losing weight. I think about that. And I think about how people need to be more educated when it comes to nutrition and dietitians. And the fact that some dietitians I've watched have said, oh yeah, I believe in eating into your food, intuitive eating, which is great if somebody has, that thing to say, I know when to stop. But if you're someone that's big and you don't have that force to say stop, or you don't listen to it and you continue eating, what isn't intuitive eating doesn't mean jack shit. If you're a big bitch like me, guess what? Telling me to intuitively stop, I have to be mindful and say, okay, I feel satiated. And then I have to physically put the item away because if it's still in front of me, my brain is going to say, keep eating. I know you're not hungry, but keep eating it. Keep eating it. And then I get heartburn. And then my brain's like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? You told me to eat. No, I didn't. I also think about the fact that a lot of places, when it comes to obesity, we have to look at the fact of where the individual lives. If they live in a place that is a food desert, it's very hard for them to get to an area for food. For example, my current place, I have to take a couple buses in order to get to a grocery store. But I do it because I'm like, I need food. Otherwise, all I got are 5 different restaurants that are within walking distance. That shouldn't be, that really shouldn't be. I also think about, besides that, sorry, my brain just went out. I also think about the fact that when it comes to things of gaining weight, I also see some people who are like, well, you gained weight because you're lazy. There are other things, other factors that we got to think about when it comes to being overweight. And yes, there, definitely some people are lazy, but we also have to think about mindset. If you are depressed and you are eating food that helps you along in being depressed, if you're using food as a coping mechanism, why are you using that food as a coping mechanism? Is it because of things that happened to you in the past? There's some people who've been sexually assaulted. There are some people who've been physically abused. There's some people who have, watched their family members die in front of them. And so they use food to cope. Some people use alcohol or drugs to cope. Some people use sex to cope. And I really wish that a lot of people, when looking at someone who is overweight, looks at the whole scheme and instead of saying that person's lazy, look at what happened before. I always say, look at the things that happened before of why is this person overweight? What are the things that's going into this person being weight? If they still have that mindset of I'm worthless, I'm useless, I deserve all bad things that happen to me, why? Always ask why, and then peel that back and find out more. Wow, that turned into a thing where originally I was talking about diabetes, and then I went into why are people overweight. And I will say that food does help in that. Because I've had some food where I've eaten it and then immediately felt sad and disgusted, and I personally have not eaten that food since. But I realize that for some people, if it's cheap and affordable, if it's affordable to them, they'll continue to eat it, even though it's bad for them because that's what they can afford. And also, that's the other thing we have to think about in terms of diabetes. Can people afford the food, especially on their salary? My old salary was $7.25 before I got my current job. Actually, that was Target. 758 was at Target, or 725. 725 or so, and then it went up to $10.89 before I left that job to get to my current job. Anyway, I talked so much. I apologize for rambling. I will talk to you guys later, and as always, fuck Tom Brady.